Okay, let's go back and look at trigonometric application problems. And when you need to find an angle, usually an appropriate thing to do is to utilize an inverse trig function. This situation, so that you can draw the figure correctly, it says a builder wishes to construct a ramp that is 24 feet long and that rises to a height of 7 feet above ground level. Find the angle that the ramp should make with the horizontal. And ultimately you want your answer in degrees. Okay, so let's make a level ground here. And then we know that the ramp is going to be 7 feet above the ground at its top. Okay, very top, rises to that level. The ramp itself is going to be 24 feet long. So we end up with a right triangle whose height is 7 feet and whose hypotenuse is 24. And then we want the angle the ramp should make with the horizontal. Okay, so let's call it alpha. Okay, so it's between the hypotenuse and level ground. Now, the first thing I notice as far as a trig situation is that the sine of alpha should be the number 7/24. The nice thing about right triangles is that all of the angles, with the exception of the right angle, are acute, so you can confidently use your inverse trig functions on acute angles and end up in the right place for the angle. So in this case, alpha would be arc sine of 7/24. Now to webasine, this defaults to radian measure. So if you were allowed to enter symbolic answers, and some problems will allow you to do that, then I would have to do the necessary conversion that we learned in an earlier section to convert the symbolic answer from radians to degrees. Okay? That's how you would do it if you can enter the answer symbolically. Now this says round your answer to 1 decimal place. So if that's what you need to do, then you would go to the calculator and the calculator button you need is the one for sine inverse. So this one. You want your mode to be in degrees because you were told to put your answer in degrees. And then you would calculate sine inverse of 7/24 and obtain the angle is 16.9578 degrees, or rounded to 1 decimal place, in this case would be 17 degrees. Okay, so these guys again, this would be your answer in degrees symbolically, which is fine if you're allowed symbolic answers. This is your answer in radians symbolically, but in this particular case you needed to access the calculator to get the decimal answer.